Okay. What's up, Gabriel? Oh, I see you commented at 7:03. Cool. One second. I'm just reading this. I went to Instagram Live here and I'm reading some new stuff that it's telling me. So I'm about to go live on Instagram here. But just need like 1 second. Okay. I'm still making sure something's still on my clipboard here. A little copy and paster. If you guys are joined in on YouTube, please let me know. Love to hear from you. I'm about to start my Instagram live stream. Huh. What's going on? It's like frozen up. Sorry guys, if you're just joining, I am about to start my Instagram live stream. It kind of froze up on me. If you're here, let me know. Would love to hear from you. If you have any questions or things that you would like me to cover, let me know. Okay, I finally got the Instagram stream working. Start live video. Cool. Okay. Cool. I've got the YouTube stream up and the Instagram stream. Actually, I'm going to turn up my brightness so that I can see you all. I think it just paused it there. Okay. Cool. So for those of you joining here on Instagram, I'm doing my weekly technique class. This is a time, usually I do Thursdays at 7:30 Central Time right now, where we all join in, grab our guitars, talk about technique, go over some exercises. And if you're ready to go, leave a comment or an emoji or something like that. Let me know you're ready. And I'll start with some basic exercises, and then we'll dive into some new things that I don't always cover every week, but things unique to each one of these technique classes. So what's up, everyone? I see that you're all joining in now. Let me know if you're ready to go and you've got your guitar and ready to play some technique. The first thing I'm going to start with is, all right, I see some of you guys commenting that you're ready. Sorry for the YouTube people that are watching here. Just you guys can't see each other's screens, but I'm also streaming this on YouTube, and you guys can tune in. The link is in my bio. You can watch it for free. You can see it on a bigger screen if you'd like. Okay, cool. I see a bunch of you joining and leaving comments. As always, let me know if you have any questions about what I'm talking about. Or, yeah, what's up, Kyle? Yeah, let me know if you have comments about what I'm talking about, or if you have any questions or things you want me to cover. Let me know. We're going to start with a diagnosis. And you guys are going to let me know in the comments, if you don't mind, which one is worst for you. And it's interesting because I was just talking to a friend about this today, about how when we work on technique, it should be kind of like a diagnostic thing, that we know that maybe one thing is weak, and therefore we should work on that one thing. And I think that's an important thing to do. So you have to constantly look at what you're doing and see, what am I actually most weak at? What fingers are most weak? What combinations are most weak? So we're going to start by doing this. Play on the second string, so on the B string, and play something like this. So start with 1, 2, 1. It's going to be like this. So C, C sharp, C. And play a little burst like this. Just one. Now try that. And then try 2, 1, 2. So C sharp, C, C sharp. Just short little bursts. Let me know which one is more difficult for you. It's going to be different for everyone probably, but which one is easier, which one's more difficult? 1, 2, 1 or 2, 1, 2. And that's plucking every note. So which one is harder for you guys? Oh, I know it. There's a little bit of a lag here for you guys to try it, but I'm getting somewhere with this. Okay, 2, 1, 2. One person says 2, 1, 2. I would say that's That's the harder one for me as well. And if you're here on, okay, cool, George, what's up? I see you're here on YouTube. Okay, so George says 121. Another person on Instagram says 212. Okay, so keep that in mind. Just remember that, and we're going to come back to it. Whichever one is hardest for you, remember. For me, it's 212. Just slightly. Sarah here says 211. That wasn't an option, but okay. Now, interestingly, those little double, every time one is doubled makes it difficult sometimes too. Even though, yeah, I see you meant 212. All right, so now let's try 232. Okay, so let's try 232. And then compare that to 121. Now, is 232 harder than 121 or 121 harder than 232? For me, 232 is actually the hardest combination. 343 I can do better. So this is what I'm getting to here. I'm not going to make you guys comment on everyone here. I know it's a pain if you're playing guitar and then to type. So 232 is harder. Okay, several people saying 232 is harder on YouTube and Instagram. Okay, yeah. So that's obvious, right? So now try 323. And then think to yourself, you don't have to type this next one. Okay, I see Raylan and Leander, Adele. Okay, glad you guys are, glad you guys are figuring this out with me. Okay, next, try 323. You don't have to type anything, just, and compare it to 232. Yeah, 323 is harder than 232 for me. Okay, now let's try 343, probably where most people are going to be weakest. Okay, so we're trying 3, we're plucking D, D sharp, D, right? And then try 434. This is what's interesting for me. What's up, Aro? So for me, 343 is and 434 are both easier than 232 for me. Okay, 434 is really hard out here, okay? And the reason why I think this might be for me is because I practice so much with my 3rd and 4th finger that I think sometimes the weight distribution is just easier to feel. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so we got a couple of differences. All right, so point being, in the differences that we're noticing here from what you guys are commenting is that we don't all need to work the same things. So when you look at an exercise that you're reading from a book and you think, oh, I'll go through all the way through pumping nylon slurs. I mean, you might be working things that, well, hold on, I'll rephrase that. It's not like you don't need to work on some things, but we need to pay attention to, we really need to focus on the things that we're not as good at and spend the most time there. So what that leads to, instead of just mindless, okay, I gotta go through my slur practices today, what that leads to is some very intensive specific practice that will make you better. Because imagine if one day 232 is the hardest and you just can't get her. 343 is the hardest. Imagine you spend a couple of days just make up an exercise like this. And then do it on the next string. If you do that for a couple days, you're bound to be better at that one than the others. Because it's just such specific, intensive focus. And you'll notice these types of things in your pieces too, that's where your weaknesses are. Ah, that's exactly what I was talking about. You probably typed that question. Okay, so Adele asked, how should we design our own exercises for our problems? Well, you find what you're weak at. For instance, like what I was just talking about, this 232 or 343, if this is what you're the most difficulties on, try going. And then do the opposite, 434. Just work whatever needs to be worked. Anyways, this is going to lead us to just an overall, of course, I was talking about how you should design your own exercise, but in the interest of us all working together here, let's go ahead and do this exercise, which I'm going to show you. We're starting on C, And by the way, if you're just joining in, let me know if you're following along, if you've got your guitar out and ready to go. Whether you're on YouTube or Instagram here, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Okay. So now we're going to do this. We're going to start on the C, and we're going to go 1, 2, 1. Then we're going to go 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3. Okay, so we're always going to start on the lower note. C, C sharp, C, C sharp, D, C sharp, D, D sharp, D. Right? So yes, Pardo asks here, could we try this with A and M or A and I? Yes, of course. That's the next step, but in the interest of time, we're going to do it like this. Okay, so we're going to do 1, 2, 1, all right? What's up, Victoria? Okay, 1, 2, 1. Then we're going to do 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3. And then we're going to slide up a fret. Now we're starting the second fret. And now, important here, don't let one finger get left behind. Like say 3, 4, 3 is your hard combination, and this is always unclear and it's sounding like, and you're not lining up. Just do whatever burst speed that you can handle. So if it's, then do whatever you can handle and then set that as your speed. I guarantee you after a little bit, you'll get better at that, even just when practicing it first. Okay, I think we're all on the same page. Let's start on this first fret, and we're going to go all the way to the 7th with this exercise. Okay, 1, 2, 180, go. Sorry, you're just going to have to join in, because, or work on your own if this burst is too fast. And now, we're here at the 10th fret, 7th position. We're going to go 4, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2. Okay? So 4, 3, 4. I was going to try to talk while doing this exercise, but I have a feeling I can't. Now, there's a couple of really great things this exercise does. Sorry, I need to polish off my screen here on the iPad. I noticed, sorry for the flashing light there. It's a little bit blurry. I don't know. Is it blurry for you guys? There's a couple of really great things that this exercise does. One, it aligns your hands. If you're really listening carefully to every single note, it's not like doing an exercise like this, right? Where one note's going to get just flubbed over. This one, you have to pay attention to each one. And then the other really great thing you can focus on during this exercise is between each set of fingers. So for instance, when we go 1, 2, 1, and then 2, 3, 2, between those, you should try to completely relax. What's up, Natalia? Okay, so you should be able to completely relax between the two exercises, or between the two sets of fingers. So when you're doing this, think really fast here, but then relax. Really fast, relax. Okay, feel free to join in here. I'm on the D sharp. See, I'm messing up this 2 to 3. Remember, that's what I said was my most difficult one for me. Okay, so now let's start here at the 10th fret on the B string. Okay, and this is 7th position, or we've got, it's an A. And we're going to do 4, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2. Okay, let's try that. 4, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2. Right, ready, and. My 3, 2, 3 is weak. Now this is ideally done with a metronome, but I'm not doing that here because it would be a really loud clicking sound, annoying for everyone. Probably everyone would stop watching. But yeah, it's great to do with a metronome, these types of things. But it's really important not to turn the metronome so loud that you can't hear this, because this is a common problem, and why I'm pitching this vibrating metronome thing, which you can see that in my Saber Stories on my page. But if you're So I realize that this camera's a little high for on the YouTube side of things. If you've got the metronome really loud and you're trying to listen carefully to see if your fingers are lining up, for instance, like we're going, it's so difficult to hear that if it's like, and you're trying to hear if it's lining up. All you're hearing is notes. You're not hearing a tack. You're not hearing your fingers line up. And I think you guys know what I mean when I say like lining up. Like you know when you did it really well. You can tell the way it sounds. So those were all good examples. But you know, here's like a bad one. See that? If it goes like this, you know it's bad. I'm trying to really exaggerate this, but if it goes like this, like one is half muted, then your hands aren't coordinated. And that's hard to tell with a loud metronome beeping. So let's do this one more time. This time, let's do it on the first string. So starting on F. Okay? So we're gonna go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, or sorry, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3. Okay? 1, 2, ready, and. And it's okay to let the last one ring if you'd like. I like stopping it. Okay, now let's start here. Let's start at the 12th fret with our pinky. So the high E, right? Okay, and we're gonna do the opposite way. We're gonna go 4, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2. Okay, if you guys are still following along, let me know. I would love to see that you're still here and it's working. I see some of you guys commenting, and I love that. But yeah, oh, what's up? K14CE2002. I saw your comment on YouTube. Okay, so let's start here, the 12th fret of the first string, and we're gonna do 4, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2, ready, and. Like I said, between the finger combinations, try to completely relax both hands. I messed up there, but this is the type of thing that you can do when you're working on these, right? Try to do little bursts. Getting control of these basic little short bursts and really aligning your fingers with these is what leads to being able to do a long strand of a scale really fast. So we should try it without metronome. Got it. Yeah, you should definitely try it without the metronome. That way you can hear. And I'm telling you, it's about the hearing. I think it's a commonly overlooked thing is that metronomes are set too loud. And we like metronomes being on because it covers up some things. If any of you guys play electric guitar, it's kind of like when you hear someone playing electric guitar with a lot of distortion or with reverb or delay on, it makes you sound like so much better. It's odd, but I think we trick ourselves by turning the metronome on and turning the volume really loud. We think like, oh yeah, we're playing with the metronome, we're doing the right thing, and it works, but it disguises some issues. I'm not anti-metronome, it's just anti-really loud metronome. Okay, so if you guys have any suggestions of what we should talk about, please let me know. I see a comment here about pull-offs. Well, we'll talk about slurs in general, and actually, let's do the same exercise. I know it sounds beautiful. You're really wanting to do this one more. So let's go ahead and do this. It's 2, 1, 2, same thing. Of course, on the right hand, we're just plucking ones for each of these, but it's the same thing. You guys can notice which set of fingers is the worst. And for this one, for me, the third 3 to 4 is the most difficult. Yeah. Brouwer Etude 7. Absolutely. I mean, look, there's a lot of really great etudes for things like slurs. I mean, there's a million, but the thing is, you got to practice it every single day. Slurs, it's really, Really, really essential. Anyways, it's something my first professor said. He said something like, maybe like a bunch of us were arguing about like what some of the best exercises were, or like, have you tried this book? Have you tried this book? And then he came out of his office and he was like, you know what? There's a lot of really great things. What matters is that you do them every single day. It doesn't matter what you pick. I mean, it does and it doesn't. Okay, so we're gonna do 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. We're gonna slide up 1 fret. So join in whenever you can. What's up, Liam? Hope you're able to join. So when you're doing this, try to match each finger and try to get each to sound as similar as possible, but there's bound to be 1 or maybe 2 that are much worse than the others. So pay attention to that. Let's start back up here. Let's go to 12th fret, and we're gonna go 4, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2. For me, and probably most of you, these descending ones, are much more difficult. So 4, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2. 4, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2. So again, we're doing this dig-a-da, 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 but also we can do it like the previous exercise. Go. So this 11th fret, pinky on the 10th. Ooh, that's terrible. These types of things are really great for, say you're playing a Baroque piece or in whatever it is, and you have a little ornament, a little mordant. It's great for training your pinky doing things like this. And like I said, if this is the hardest, then just do exercises with 3 and 4. What's the hardest one for you now? Of course. Oh, Instagram's new algorithm sucks. I used to have so many people watching these live streams, and then now the way it's shifted is like really, really difficult to get people watching. Okay, so how is this working for you all? Okay, K14 here. I don't know what your name is, I'm sorry. But you asked about nail shape. I can't talk too much about that because it's so individual. Yeah, 3, 4, 3, 4, 4, yeah, 3, 4, 4, 3. I mean, you meant 3, 4, 3. Yeah. This is gonna be the hardest for almost everyone, unless you're just some sort of freak and you practice this every single day, and that's the only one you practice, right? So I'll talk about a couple of things that you need to make sure you're doing when you're doing this exercise. And I apologize if I don't talk about these things all the time, like first, but the problem is a lot of people watching these streams already know the basics of this kind of stuff, so I don't want to like bog everyone down with information, but just real quick. When you're doing these slurs, when you do the pull-off, it's not just lifting your finger. See, listen to the difference. This is just lifting the finger. And this is the pull-off. You see how clear that is? Sounds like I'm going, it sounds like I'm going, but it's. So, you gotta make sure you're literally dragging off the string and then resting your finger on the string below it. You see? As opposed to this. If you just lift it, there's no snapping action. So every time you do these, 3, 4, 3, sorry, that's really high up to do it. Let's start down here. 4, 3, 4, 4, 3, 4. You gotta make sure you're snapping off the string. In fact, it's funny, I could see it here in the video. You can actually see my pinky hitting this string by how it, you probably won't be able to tell. Instagram. But on YouTube, I can see this first string moving from my pinky hitting it, like a lot. It's kind of throwing me off. What did you say? How about mute other strings? You don't need to worry about muting the other strings during this exercise, but for instance, if you're talking about like sympathetic ringing, like all of that, you don't need to worry about that. But if you're dragging through and hitting it, then that just means you're dragging through too hard. So maybe you can practice something like this. Just doing a pull off on every fret. Yeah, all of a sudden you'd be playing AC/DC. Okay, so other suggestions and things to talk about besides nails. I cannot talk about nail shape on here because it is just too diverse of a topic. We've got lots of different nail shapes, different things biologically. There's some great videos on YouTube about that already. I always suggest this Thomas Villoteux video. If you search his name, or send me a message afterwards and I'll spell it out to you. But he talks about putting a piece of sandpaper between the strings and then practicing by plucking on the sandpaper. And it's really good. It's a good way it's a good general approach to nails, I think. So, okay, other questions? Or forever hold your peace here, because I mean, I'm not going to go on forever here if you guys don't have questions. But let's go ahead and start with another exercise. I'll wait for a question. But for now, I figure we'll do a little bit of right hand stuff since we were doing so much over here. And that same exercise over and over again. Let's talk about right hand. So I'm going to point the camera a little bit lower so that YouTube people can see. But let's try this exercise. I haven't done this one in a while with you guys. If you haven't tried it, then it's a great one. All right, we're going to start with our thumb, and a thumb on the fourth string, I on the third, M on the second, and A on the first. Okay? So like this, right? So D, G, B, E. All right, next step. We're going to pluck with our thumb and set it right back down. Now, there's a couple of important things here. One, that you're not moving your arm when you pluck the string. It's just your thumb moving, okay? And second, you want to make sure you stop the string right in the playing position. So if you were to do it again, if you were going to play instead of just stopping the string, it would be like this. Hey Chuck, yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying these exercises, and that's awesome that you apply it to the steel string. It can be applied to anything most of the time. These exercises that I'm talking about can work on electric, steel string, of course classical. But yeah, let me show you this exercise in the right hand. What's up, Eliza? Okay, so we're doing this with our thumb. We're setting our fingers up on the first four strings. And now what we're going to do next is we're going to pluck the thumb once, stop it, and then pluck the I finger and stop it immediately. What you'll probably notice is that your thumb is better at stopping quick, right? So we do thumb, then I. Thumb, I. Then M, and A, right? So let's do this really slow. It might be difficult at first, so it's okay if you don't get it right away. But yeah, we're going to do thumb, I, M, A, and try to make a powerful sound on each one of these. So the entire time, your P, I, M, and A are resting, and one just takes a second to pluck and then stop the string. And the goal here is to create a good sound, a loud one, and make it as staccato as possible. So of course, if you make a really quiet sound, you can stop it really fast, but try to do a loud sound and stop it fast. And try to avoid this, right? That's your thumb, that's your nail hitting the string before the flesh of your finger. So it's tricky. Because you're not trying to just mute it to mute, you're trying to mute in the position that you would actually play at. really hard at first, right? But whew, it's still hard for me to go that speed, but this really trains your fingers to return back to the string quickly. So then when you start doing arpeggios, your fingers are already trained to whip right back to the string. Also, I think what it's really nice at doing is creating control in your fingers while the other ones are touching the strings. So this is what I want you to end up doing. And it's totally right. It's like the Giuliani etude. I saw what you said there. But yeah, like this one you're talking about, etude and 5. Yeah, it's great for training your fingers to do things like that. But really, any exercise or technique, I mean, this just trains your finger getting really fast at doing this, right? We practice so much of our fingers plucking, right? Plucking really fast, and we do tremolo and stuff. But we hardly ever train the finger returning to the string, which is equally important if you think about, you know, repetitive plucking or in a scale. Your fingers have to come back to the string, not just push through it fast. So if you train your finger to be able to return to the string really fast by doing this exercise, it's going to make everything much faster. And if you're particularly weak at one finger, try doing it, make a little exercise. But important, keep your other fingers down in a playing position. So every now and then you could pluck, you could add this in. Sorry, I've never tried this, but you could go. You'll notice that's much harder than just plucking a scale with one finger, right? It's like plucking a scale and preparing it. Whew, it's hard. You see, my pinky's freaking out a little bit. This is another thing you can do with your pinky, to train your pinky to not, well, one, you could train it to actually pluck like this. I've been doing a little bit of pinky A work. You see this? Alternating these two. But yeah, it's another great thing to train. Because if your pinky gets better, your A finger gets better. I've really noticed that. Anyways, any other questions? I saw your question here, Sam, about arranging. I really don't have any comments on that that I can really talk about in this class. I would say that, I mean, I really haven't done too much arranging. My arranging typically comes from if I have like a piece that, you know, I don't particularly like the arrangement of, I'll end up taking something from that and then listening to the original and stuff. And I'm not so good at it. I don't really have too much advice. I've done some, but not enough to really claim any sort of romance Spanish. Never heard that request. No, this is a technique class. Okay, so some of you guys are starting to drop out. Do you have any questions? I can go over any exercise. And by the way, thank you so much for those of you supporting me on Patreon. This class, I've got lots of content up there for you all. If you're supporting the class, you can watch these videos after they're done. So if you miss a day or you're gone, you can play along with these, and you know, these you can watch back later on there for contributing very little, actually. But I would appreciate it. So he asked, sorry to ask, it's okay to ask questions. He said, what would be a decent classical guitar to start back with? Are Cordobas okay? Yeah, Cordobas are great. So are Yamahas. I have a Yamaha C40 that I got for $30, and I play it all the time. And I also have a Cordoba C5 that I use all the time. Those are both great starting guitars. Okay, Raylan asked, anything for right hand thumb strength and accuracy? Strength, yeah. Oh, well, this exercise is actually really good, the one I was talking about. But there's a really nice one that I like to do. It's this Coast. Oh, geez, send me a message and remind me afterwards. I have on my iPad. I have the exercise, but the etude. I don't remember what number. Maybe someone here knows, but it's. So So the nice thing about this one is it goes, so obviously you can't have those basses ringing, you have to stop them. Another thing I do with these, it's all I and M alternating, but I do M and A, so I'll practice like this. And it gets more difficult here because you have, this is G to E. Anyways, let me know if you don't know that one, or if anyone knows the number of this one. I think it's like number 8. I don't know, but I highly, it's like sight readable, this exercise. It's not hard. It requires you to be pretty accurate. Also, there's oh, what number is this? Soar Etude one or Kasi? Never forget, but the one that goes like the one that's I don't really remember the melody to it, but it's something like that. Also, you can try getting in the normal position as if you were to play Etude 1 by Villa-Lobos and do all thumb instead of the rest of the fingers, so like this. And try to make a good sound on every string. It's pretty difficult. Ah, George knows. Okay, it's number 23 from Opus 38, the cost piece. George chimed in. So, number 23 from Opus 38. You can send me a message if you don't remember. Number 23, Opus 38, is this one. It's a really, really good one. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Etude 1 by Villa-Lobos with all thumb. That's a good way to warm up your thumb also. My thumb sound right now on the first string is terrible. Prepare the next one, right? So thumb, 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 prepare. So notice I'm not going, but I'm going prepare, 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 prepare. It's really awkward to feel like what you're supposed to do with the other fingers. Difficult, but yeah, you could try going slow and just preparing each one really well. That'll get you really accurate with string changes too, especially if they're skipping in strings. Who showed me this? I don't know. Someone I saw do this extremely fast, some famous artist. Then your thumb feels so good afterwards, and it feels really accurate. The Carlovaro Book 2 is really, really good for thumb etudes as well. Not thumb etudes, what am I talking about? Thumb practice. So first you start with this arpeggio. But then you add in, yeah, these are Diodario strings right now. Then it has you do this. And then it has you go. Then it has you do, like, I think it's... So it'll go. And then it'll have you reverse that. So da, 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 da. this one. Anyways, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then there's looking with the thumb every time you have something in the right hand. So every note. And then you could go, oh geez, I never thought about this, but going like, there's tons of variations you can think of. Wow, I never thought about doing that. Twice for every pluck in the right hand, so. Remind me to practice that, that's pretty funny. That's funny. Now my thumb's really warmed up. Okay, any other questions? If not, I'm going to go. Totally okay to ask some more questions though. I hope you guys enjoyed this class. As always, sign up for lessons or support this class on Patreon. That link is in my bio. You can also just Google my name and Patreon. You'll find that. But no obligation, only if you can afford to, or if you feel like helping, or you feel like this helped. Another thing I offer is 10-minute mini lessons after our technique classes. If you're like, hey, I didn't get this exercise, or like, what do I really need to work on? There's little things like each technique class once a week. I can meet with you for 10 minutes, and you can sign up for that on Patreon. One-on-one, like FaceTime or Skype. Awesome, yeah, good luck finding a guitar, Chuck, and let me know if you have any questions on what to pick. Garrett, what's up? Alright guys, I will talk to you later. I hope you guys enjoyed. Unless another question pops up here, I'm going to go. But thanks so much for watching. It's been a fun time, and I hope you enjoyed. So, I'll talk to you soon. I am going to end my YouTube stream. Those of you supporting me on Patreon, you'll be able to watch this at any time. And I'll talk to you guys later.